You know, guys, in Judaism, there's something called Mida Keneged Mida. Measure for measure. Not eye for an eye, measure for measure. Okay? A lot of these folks are complaining that they got fired without, so to speak, a judge or jury. They were fired on the spot for saying what they said about the Charlie Kirk murder. No evidence presented, no nothing. Folks, lest I remind you, a lady by the name of Roseanne Barr came out a few years ago, and she wrote something about a certain lady that used to work for a certain president, not Trump, and she did not mean it in a racial way, in the least bit. She literally meant it like the person looks like somebody from a movie. Quite literally, looks like, bone structure wise, looks like somebody from a movie. Like a doppelganger for that person. Nothing to do with the person's race, nothing to do with the person's, color. Maybe complexion a little bit, but not race in the way you think of race, right? It was maybe not so wise of her to say it the way that she said it, kind of sporadically, whatever it was, okay? Folks, Roseanne got immediately fired, and then she literally got burned at the stake. It was like a Salem witch hunt on her, branded, like with a brander, as a racist, and that's it. And she's never to be spoken to again by anybody in Hollywood. Folks, in a way, it's a bracha for her. It's a blessing for her that's the case in that respect. And she gets to do her own thing anyway, and she's she has all the ability to do her own thing, and both in terms of talent and in terms of resources and whatever it is, and friends and blah blah blah. So she's not up the creek without a paddle, so to speak. But it was bad at the time. It was bad. People she thought were friends and almost like family just completely threw her under the bus. They betrayed her and threw her under the bus, turned their backs on her, whatever, right? Later, some people apologized, blah, 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 but folks, that kind of leaves a bad taste in your mouth after a while, right, So, my friends, the people who are the quickest to do this to others, the quickest to do this kind of knee-jerk kind of stuff to other people are the leftists, are basically the Marxists. This is what happened to my parents in the Soviet Union. They were fired for just simply applying to leave the Soviet Union. They were branded traitors to the state. Fired from their job. My father had to do like odd jobs. My mother just whatever. She was at home. So, folks, this is the work. This type of work is the work of usually the work of Marxists and the work of cultural wokeism and wokes and all this cancellation stuff, right? If you're not going to get fired, you're going to get canceled. In this case, Roseanne got fired and canceled, and everything you can think of, right? Short of Has v'Shalom, God forbid. So, my friends, Mika Keneged Mida. If you wish, death, and you're happy about it, and if you're happy and you know it, don't clap your hands. You know what I'm saying? So, you get what you deserve. I'm not a fan of this canceling stuff. To be honest with you, I'm not a fan of firing people. If anything, I'm not a fan of muzzling people either. If anything, what is it called? If anything, I think these people should be able to speak out in the open, and I want to hear what they have to say. Like, I want people to be able to identify them, I want people to see the Satan in front of their face, right? Because what do they say? The greatest trick the devil ever pulled was convincing the world that he didn't exist. Folks, now we see his face. Now he is unmasked by his little minions, okay? So, Miga Keneged Mida. Hashem enacts these kind of things every once in a while. God enacts these things. It's not good that we have to do this, that it's come to this. It wasn't our first choice, but my friends, the people who have cornered the market on this kind of stuff are actually the woke, psycho, Marxist, Mao's Red Guard, okay? Just remember that, folks. And they're still doing it today. All right, talk to you soon.